Hi, welcome back again, guys. This is Matt from Jackers Brewing Co. Just want to thank you for coming along and checking in on us and seeing what we got going on. For today's project, we're going to try to do some lacto farming. So in this experiment, what we're trying to do is farm a source of Lactobacillus that I can reuse time and time again. Basically have a house culture of Lactobacillus. If you go back and look at our first YouTube video, the Berlinerweisses comparison, I addressed the fact that I had a hard time making sure that I had the same lacto-souring agent across all three beers. I wanted to see if this is something that I can gather up here with some basic materials. We're going to take this dry malt extract. We're going to make a wort with a starting gravity of 10.30-ish. We're going to evenly distribute it in these mason jars here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some of these other ingredients that I have here. We have three seed types. These are the plant seeds. They're unmalted. So I have one rye. I have two different types of barley, Pinnacle, and the other one is Robust. These are from Johnny's Seeds. And then I have this lacto packet here. It's a probiotic Lactobacillus. It has one single culture in it, and that's it. So this is the third time that I have tried this experiment. The first time, what happened was I didn't have a pH meter, so I just let it go the way that it was going to go. Everything seemed like it was doing okay. I think I had picked up some wild yeast at one point in time during the process. It looked like there was some fermentation going on off of these grains. So the second time that I did this, I made sure that my refractometer was calibrated. I made sure that this pH meter was calibrated also. And then the next day that I came home from work, I went to go check in on the progress. Looked like we had some fermentation going on, and it looked like the pH meter lost its calibration. Well, I didn't have any more solution handy. I had just dumped the rest of it. It was a one-time use only calibration solution. I couldn't recalibrate it. I wasn't able to get any kind of solution in a timely fashion to save the project. By that point in time, I think that the results would have been compromised anyways. I'm starting this project all over again. I've got pretty much the same items that I had last time, except for this time I've got the calibration solutions for my pH meter. My plan is to make sure that this thing is calibrated throughout the whole process. So the next step, now that we've got all of our ingredients gathered up, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the wort. I'll go ahead and get it poured in these glasses. So let me go get this stuff prepared, and I'll be back when I've got everything ready for these grains and the lacto to go in their respective jars. Alright, we've got our wort prepared. We started off with 300 milliliters of wort in every jar. I've got them all labeled with what ingredients going to go in here for each wort. Rye, barley, Robust, barley, Pinnacle, and the probiotic wort over here. In front of every one of these things, I have the ingredient that we're going to put in the wort. The rye, 1 ounce, 1 ounce of the barley Robust, 1 ounce of the barley Pinnacle, and then I'm going to just do 1 packet of the probiotic Lactobacillus for this one here. As you can see, I have marked all these containers with blue painter's tape, black Sharpie, no big deal there. We're fixing to start the progression of taking our readings, so I want to go ahead and document this on film, and then I will document them all in my log here. So we have a cup of the wort. So I'll take a reading with my refractometer over here. I am showing 10:30 even, right on the dot. 1.030. Alright, now I'm going to calibrate the pH meter. Alright, our baselines today are a starting gravity of 1.030 and a pH of 5.50. Now that we have all of our readings recorded and we have our baselines established, what we're going to do is go ahead and put the grains in the wort and the probiotic in the wort, and we're going to check back on it tomorrow afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for checking in on us on day 2 of the Lacto project that we have going on. Today was kind of a busy day. I ended up going ahead and just taking all the readings here, putting them here in my notebook, and I'll go over everything with you guys real quick just to catch you up. So the starting gravity on all these jars was 1.030 with a beginning pH of 5.50. Beginning with the rye jar, the reading is 1.030, pH is 5.50, so everything's the same. The barley, the robust, same thing here. Starting gravity and pH is the same at 1.030, pH is 5.50. The barley pinnacle there is 1.030, pH of 5.50. Now the probiotic right here, the gravity is 1.030, same starting gravity, but the pH is 5.36. So that's pretty cool. We had a little drop there in pH on that, so that Lacto is doing what it's supposed to do. So far with this experiment this time, I have had slightly different results. Not necessarily on the pH side of things, other than the probiotic has kind of done what it's done before, but these grains here, they've kind of spawned fermentation before on me a little bit. I've kind of seen some activity and taking a reading with the hydrometer over there before. It's indicated that there had been some form of alcohol production at this point. So when you get that with a refractometer, it won't read correctly in the presence of alcohol. Now, if it would have been like 1.028, I wouldn't have worried about it. I'd have just called it that. That's probably so minute of alcohol level that that's probably close enough to starting gravity. I wouldn't really have worried about it. From my understanding, Lactobacillus by itself cannot really ferment very well by itself. It can drop it a few points, but it's not going to go from, 1030 to 1020 or 1030 to 1010 or anything like that. So anyways, that's the update for today. Alright, welcome back guys. Now we're at right about 48 hours after we first initially pitched these grains into the wort and the probiotic into the wort. I went ahead and done some maintenance on some things here real quick. I took care of 2 of these, and I took the measurements on the probiotic real quick, just to save a little bit of time. I'll walk you through what I've done on all of these here real quick. When I do this one, I'll show you what I've done. So basically what I did was I got clean, sanitized mason jars again. I pulled all the grains out of the rye. I pulled the grains out of the barley robust. I took up the pH readings. I took the gravity readings on these 2. On the probiotic, I took the gravity reading and the pH reading on it as well. So I'll show you kind of how I did it real quick with this. Another sanitized bigger jar and this little strainer here that was sanitized. So I just put this over here real quick like that. Just opened up my jar here. Then I slowly poured it. Try not to splash a whole lot and stir a lot of things up. I'm just trying to get the liquid off. So one thing to notice is there was a little bit of fluid loss in all the ones that had the grains. We started off at 300 milliliters, right around 250 to 275 over these jars. I think it pretty much about the same loss across the board. That's due to some intake by the grains from the moisture, or from the liquid wort in there. So let's go ahead and take the readings off of this here. So I've got a water cup and a pipette. Then I've got another water cup here with RO water to rinse the pH meter. And then I've got my solutions here to calibrate my pH meter before I dip in here. So let's start with the gravity reading. And we have 1030, same as our starting gravity. pH reading on rinse. Reading right. .99 out of 7. I'll go ahead and leave that. Okay, rinsed. And 4.94. All right, let's talk about our findings and our readings here real quick. So off of the rye example that we have here, the gravity was the same the gravities are still all the same across the board. The same gravity reading that we got beforehand when we started, our starting gravity of 1.030. So there's still no signs of fermentation. The only thing that I did notice, other than the loss of fluid, was the barley pinnacle over here had some air bubbles in it. So I don't know if that's a suppression or so. I'm going to take that as a sign that there is possibly some wild yeast in there at this point. I think keeping these on has kind of helped suppress the growth of the wild yeast in fermentation. So I think I'm going to keep these lids on at this point in time and just kind of keep it going that way. I have some surprising pH readings, I feel like. I think having those grains left in there yesterday when I took the readings threw off the pH a little bit. So let's starting with the rye here, the pH was 5.0. The original pH, and the pH of all the worts originally was 5.50. So after 2 days, it looks like it dropped down to 5.00. Was it more than that yesterday? I'm sure it had to have been a higher pH than that. So the barley robust came in as 4.98. So that was even lower than the rye. The barley pinnacle was 4.94 pH. And then the probiotic down here at the end was a 4.12 pH. So that's down from the 5.36. I think that thing's just trucking along pretty good. I think when you kind of open these up, you're starting to smell some sourness in them. So I think that's a good sign. Kind of smelling a little bit like kind of like sour corn out of the grains, the ones with the grain. The probiotic still has that kind of that corn smell, that soured corn smell a little bit to it, but that one's not nearly as aromatic as these other ones have been. We didn't really have any fluid loss with the probiotic one because there was really nothing for it to soak up in. I think at this point I'm gonna let the rye, the barley robust, and the barley pinnacle keep trucking along for a little bit longer. The probiotic, I might let it go one more day before I put it in the fridge and let it chill out for a little bit. Maybe kind of get it to stop. I might have to end up pitching that into some wort and let it go play around with a bigger batch of worts and grow up some. Haven't really made up my mind what I want to do with that. These other ones, I'm sure, come tomorrow, if we have a drop in pH or a dramatic drop in pH, I think I'll have to do the same thing with those. At this point in time, I think we're looking at a total of 36 hours with this little project. We might be calling this a wrap and throwing some beer at this, or throwing some fresh worts and making something sour. Didn't really have an end game plan yet with this. I knew that I wanted to possibly make another sour beer, so that'll be cool. See you guys tomorrow. All right, so another day has passed on this Lacto project of ours. For the sake of time, I went ahead and took measurements on the barley pinnacle here, and on the barley robust here, and on the probiotic. Today we're going to pick on the rye subject and go ahead and take the measurements here on camera, and then we'll go over the readings and results that we got. So first off, that was a pop, Sounds like there might be a little bit of, have been some pressure there. Maybe a sign of some fermentation. Let's check it and see. Alright, so starting with the rye, shockingly, when we opened this jar, and hopefully you heard it on the camera, hopefully I picked it up, there was a pop. So that would have, I feel like, indicated that there might have been signs of fermentation. With the gravity reading that we got today, it was 1.030, which is the same as the starting gravity. The pH reading on this was 3.80. The initial pH reading, again, when we started, was 5.50. It had dropped down yesterday to 5.0, and it was reconfirmed at a 3.80 when I was calibrating my pH meter, making sure that it maintained calibration throughout this whole process between testing jars. With the barley robust, we have a starting gravity of 1.030. The pH reading yesterday was a 4.98. The pH reading today is 4.62. So we have a drop in pH. I'm going to say that that's an indication that we have some bacteria, probably lacto in there. The barley pinnacle, right here, we have a drop in the gravity. It's showing 1.028, so that means that there's some kind of presence of alcohol. These refractometers here, they kind of get a little skewed when there's a presence of alcohol. I wouldn't think that 2 points is going to be a huge swing there. We do have to take into account, though, that there is some form of alcohol that's going to throw that off. That much I don't know if it would be a lot or not, but we have a pH reading of 4.18, which is down from yesterday's reading of 4.94. And then the probiotic here, we have a gravity reading of 1.30, and the pH reading on this guy just keeps going down. Today's reading was 3.86 from yesterday's 4.12. So I think at this point I might just let this run for one more day before making a decision about what to do with these. We definitely have caught some kind of bacteria here, like I said, probably lacto. Without sending it off to a lab, it's going to be next to impossible to tell. Generally speaking, from my understanding, lacto can ferment a little bit, a couple points. As far as gravity readings go, mostly it's just going to drop the pH. Brett and PDO, I think, will ferment sugars and drop gravity, but they'll continue to drop the pH as well. So, like I said, I'm thinking I'm gonna let these guys run one more day in the way that they are, check in with it, and then I'll probably go ahead and put them in the refrigerator, go ahead and start chilling them down, and look at maybe brewing a beer with them here pretty soon. Alright, welcome to the conclusion of the Lacto project. The next time that you see these samples here, I'll either, one, be pitching it into a beer, two, playing around with these individually by themselves instead of together the way that they are in this test here. I'll be like proofing them or something of that nature. I might blend them. I don't really know where I'm gonna head. I feel like this was a complete success here in all my results that I've gotten. I feel like every single one of them is usable at this point in time, other than actually pitching them into a beer wort with hops and everything else, and doing some taste test examples of beers that can be produced with that. So let's go over the final results here. I went ahead and took all the readings real quick. So starting with the rye here, today's reading was 1.030 gravity with a pH of 3.58. The barley robust right here, it was a 1.030 with a pH of 3.73. The barley pinnacle, it has a gravity of 1.028 and a pH of 4.10. And then the probiotic right here, gravity was 1.030 and a pH of 3.31. So the rye dropped from yesterday from 3.80 to 3.58. The barley robust dropped from a 4.62 to a 3.73. The barley pinnacle dropped from a 4.18 to a 4.10, and the probiotic dropped from a 3.86 to a 3.31. So like I said, I think all these have turned into be a complete success as far as this experiment has gone. The only one that really showed any kind of drop in gravity was the pinnacle right here. It looks like it only dropped 0.002 gravity points. So, I mean, maybe some fermentation happened. Don't really know. One thing that I did notice that every one of these has, and the probiotic has the least amount, is there's a small ring at the very bottom of like yeast settlement. Maybe this is the bacteria settlement, or a combination of the two between the yeast and the bacteria. Like I said, the probiotic has it. It's very faint. You can barely see it. You know, a couple of these things, we've opened them up. There's been a slight pressure there. The rye had it the most today. Another thing that I noticed is they all are starting to smell about the same across the board. Kind of like that sourness. I know previously I had said that they were smelling a little bit like soured corn or something of that nature. I kind of feel like we're starting to get a little bit more of that like Lacto smell. If you've used strains of Lacto, like commercial pitch, it's kind of getting a little closer to that type of a smell. So I think the next thing that I'm gonna do with these guys, as I said, I'm gonna probably start just pitching them in some wort with a little bit of hops to test them kind of as a beer souring agent, so like you would the Lacto. I think I've captured nothing but Lacto here. I don't really have a way to prove it. I don't have laboratory equipment to be able to test that, be able to isolate it. I've seen some people on YouTube that have microscopes, fairly cheap ones, to be able to isolate yeast and bacteria. That is on the list, but that is way, way, way further down the road. I want to kind of focus a little bit more on my basics and integrating a few other, you know, medium or intermediate or even advanced level brewing things before I start worrying about microscopes and centrifuges and all that kind of stuff. So this has been a fun project. I'm completely happy with the successes that I have today to present to you, and I am going to call it a complete success. Like I said earlier, the other times that I've run this project, it's gone south. Part of it was because of not having a pH meter, or not using a pH meter, or not being able to have it calibrated properly. I think I gained a lot of experience with this pH meter to where I feel fairly comfortable in using it. If it wasn't for trying to be as scientific as possible as I can here, I don't think I would have gone back and checked and made sure that it was calibrated as many times between samples. I would have just rolled with it, but because I had 4, this is an unknown experiment. I didn't know what to expect, and I wanted to make sure that this thing was presenting the correct data constantly. That's why I did it. I'm pretty excited about this. I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna straight up use the probiotic in some kind of Saison, or maybe kind of do a sour Farmhouse Saison brew with it. I need to figure that out if I want to do it kettle sour style, or if I just want to pitch it straight in the fermenter and let it go. And at that point though, it'd be hard to recapture it without recapturing some yeast and maybe some other bacteria that might be in there. So the whole principle of this was to see if I could capture some kind of lacto, be able to farm it and maybe keep the culture alive for a house type lacto. I think it's manageable. There's a few more experiments post this one that we would need to perform to be able to say without any doubt that absolutely yes, that is achievable. With this experiment completed, I'd like to thank you guys for sticking it out with me. I'm sure some of that was boring. Congratulations, we made it to the end. I look forward to using this soon at some point in time once I figure out the rest of my brew schedule and or other styles that I want to do, need to do, or just sound interesting. Catch you guys later. Thanks. Yeah, recording now. I have a dog that is walking kind of under the camera. He's gonna drink water. It's the same dog that drinks 4 gallons of water every day. Normally about the time that I'm trying to do something like this. We have 1 ounce of rye, 1 ounce of barley. Let me go turn off the AC. Okay, now that we have all of our recordings recorded, no, Duncan, go lay down. Duncan, go lay down. Hinder, go outside. Hinder, go outside. Waiting for the AC to turn off. We good? We good.